So welcome, yogis. And as always, just starting on your mat wherever you're feeling most comfortable today. Have a moment to just tune into how you're feeling. Where's your energy? If you're a battery, where are you charged? I always like to think of it like that. Do you need to be a little bit nurturing? Or have you got energy that you want to expel and use? So work within your limit. Satya and ahimsa. Truth and non-harm. Have a moment to root. Ground yourself into Mother Earth. And let's just scan through the chakras. We'll start at the crown. So we'll bring the energy down as we scan through today. Just let your eyelids close. I always like to sort of perhaps tune in when we take one of the senses away. How does it feel just above the top of your head, Sahasrara? And then in your third eye, check in with your throat and notice your heart. How does solar plexus feel today? And then sacral. And finally root at the base of your spine, linking all the way down the legs to the feet. And sometimes it just takes a very short glance at all those centres, all these areas of the body without reading into it, just that kind of innate wisdom that you have when you draw your awareness to the area. So as you root down into Mother Earth, and we've scanned through and drawn awareness to our chakras, we can also imagine opening up the crown of our head. And whenever I'm doing anything Reiki related or energy related, I like to imagine a universal field of white light above, like a blanket of white light. And as we open up our channel, we can invite that white light to sort of funnel into the crown of our head. So that there's a two-way channel of energy moving through us. Draw in an affirmation today. I am. What's that last ... word for you? I am something. Every time we come up with an I am word, it might be very different depending on how we're feeling, circumstances that day. It might relate to one of your chakras as well, whichever word comes to mind. You're tuning into a specific sort of energy. So just bring your awareness to your breath. Take a few breaths in and out, following the whole length of the breath. You don't have to change the rhythm. But it's always a beautiful way of coming into the present moment that you're in. So we'll start our warm-up. When you're ready, inhale, right arm up and over. Let the arm fall to the floor behind you. And then just have a moment here and then begin to sort of flex your right foot, toes lifted up. Nice push into the heel. You're going to start to feel a lovely stretch in your calf muscle. And then just creating a little bit more space this side. Make this side longer than the left. Stretch into your fingers and the palm opens up. We have little chakras, minor chakras all around the body. The sole of our foot, the palm of our hand. And then point your toes. And then when you're ready, just relax. On the exhale, take your right arm down, palms facing up. Have a moment just to settle. And then we'll do the same the other side. So inhale, left arm over. And flexing the left foot, toes lifted, lovely stretch into the calf muscle there. Space in the waist, lifting the arm, spreading the fingers. And then point the left toes. And then when you're ready, exhale, arm down. And maybe already you just feel a few millimeters taller. Let's inhale, take both arms over. Let the chin just rest inwards gently, naturally, and then we'll start to stretch here, flexing, then pointing toes. Just alternate the feet movement. Really reaching up with the arms, feel the shoulder blades separate from the spine. And then when you're ready, exhale, coming down with the arms and then palms up for a moment. Take a breath. And then we'll bring the right knee in, hands around the shin. So lovely stretch for the back here and just being gentle if you need to. So deep breath. Exhale, coming up. And again, this is a really lovely opportunity to follow the breath leaving your body. The belly falls to the spine. The last drop of breath comes out as you hold it. And then inhale down. Other side, left knee. Deep inhale. And then exhale, squeeze all that breath out. Find the end of the breath, holding. And then inhale down. And we'll do that one more time with both knees into the chest. Deep breath. And then exhale. Feel that lovely warmth around the nostrils as all the breath leaves the body through the nose. And then inhale down, hold onto the knees and just gently rock for a moment. Roll in some circles, just feel the outer edge of your back. Other way a few times. Okay, we're going to take the hands and feet up into the air and warm up this way round. So opening the toes, then closing, and then making fists and opening and closing with the thumbs in and then the thumbs out. Just moving the digits. And then flexing and then pointing. And starting to rotate at wrists and ankles. Other way. Okay, we lower the arms and we'll cycle. Warm up your knees. Noticing anything that feels different or new today, and then other way. And then lower the left foot. Keep the right leg raised, big circles as we warm up the hip. And then other way a few times. Swapping sides, left leg now. Another way. And then bring the knees into chest for a little hug for a moment. And we'll roll up to seated. I always like to come onto my meditation cushion, even though it's only for a few movements, it's just more comfortable to sit this way rather than collapsing the spine. So just join me into Chin Mudra. Eyelids closed. Again, just settle. Notice if you're slouched into your posture or whether you can lift comfortably. Taking the chin down to the chest. Pausing for a moment just to feel whatever you feel today, and then up to the ceiling. And then just coming back to the centre. We'll just do once, tilting now the head to the right, and then over to the left. Coming back to centre, and then twisting as if looking over the right shoulder, and then left. Coming back to centre, and then taking the chin down, and a full rotation in each direction of the head. Nice and slowly. Noticing at what parts of the rotation feel quite comfortable, if there's any parts that feel a little bit stiff or stuck. And then coming back to centre. Just bring the hands onto the shoulders and we'll just loosen up here. And a few times in the other direction. Okay, come off your cushions. Just join me in butterfly. I like coming into this pose, just adding it in just at the end of a warm-up, just to sort of feel into the hips. Give us a little bit of an awareness on how to move today. How does the lower back feel here? How tense are you? Can you relax? Take some deep breaths to belly. Okay, and lifting up. So I'd like to do a few more moves, so we've just done a warm-up. We're quite familiar with Paramuktasana 1, which is the warm-up series, the anti-rheumatic warm-up series for all the joints. Paramuktasana 3 is an energetic warm-up. So just taking the legs out to the side. There's no real order for these, but... So with this particular movement, or these series of movements, it's if you're feeling a little bit lethargic and depleted, they're aimed at sort of revitalising your body and sort of creating a little bit of more energy movement. This one's called churning the mill. So what we do is we just hold our hands together and we're churning like this. So we breathe in as we come forward and exhale as we come back. So... and then go the other way a few times. And then come back to the centre again. There's one called chopping the wood. I'm going to come into a kneeling position. I think it's a little bit easier to move. But chopping the wood, or actually no, it's pulling the rope. There's quite a few with funny little names like that. So we're going to bring one arm up, and as we exhale, we pull it down. So okay, and then come to stillness. You can probably feel just by doing a few of those that it's quite sort of invigorating in the body. There's one called rowing. It's like a rowing movement as well. So a little bit like you would be on a rowing machine. So arms in front and then exhale coming back. You can probably hear me breathing out through the mouth. I'm just so that you know the breathing. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And you can go lower if that feels right in your spine. So come back to a nice stillness. Okay, so perhaps feeling a little bit more energised. And then we'll come to standing. If I remember this one, it's chopping wood. So we can bring our hands together, take your feet apart, and as if you're chopping wood, inhale up, exhale down, and one more, and then come to a standing position and stillness. Okay. I'll try and introduce those a little bit more because it's a really nice warm-up for your body energetically. You'll have to tell me later on whether that actually makes a difference when you're feeling a little bit lazy, lethargic and can't be bothered to do anything. Okay, so I'd like to start with some balances. Tree pose we'll begin with, opening in Tadasana. I can feel your heartbeat going a little bit of warmth in your body already. Okay. Tadasana. How do your feet feel? Are your arches collapsed? Do they feel like they need to lift a little? Can you feel all of your toes connected on the mat? Can you feel the foot as if it has four corners, that each part is connected and you're aware? Okay, coming into the right leg as the balancing leg and then lifting left. Wherever you feel like you want to be today, sometimes we'll have the leg high, but if something's off in your life, you might want to feel quite grounded and low. So heel can come to ankle and toes can come up, or below the knee, or above the knee. When you bring the foot above the knee, there's that sort of feeling of really sort of pushing the heel into the thigh to keep it supported there. I always find if you've got slippery, silky workout leggings that your foot can slip a little bit. So pushing the foot in. Gaze at drishti, a point of focus, of concentration. And just notice your breath. Can you bring the breath to your belly? Lovely, and release. Give your legs a shake. And let's explore left side. So grounding that foot. I like to lift the toes, plant each one down with awareness, and then just seeing where you want to be here. This is often my more wobbly side. So, oops, no. Listen to my satya and ahimsa. I'm going to be low today and feel a little bit more grounded this side. This is where I feel safe. But you might feel different. So just noticing your breath. Are you slouching, or can you really lift up through this posture? Okay, and release. Lovely. Give your legs a shake if you need to. Let's move into eagle pose as well, which is another lovely balance. This involves the arms. So not only is it a root chakra posture, as balances are, but also heart. So grounding the right leg, take your left leg across. Just bring your toes across the foot. Keep the toes there for a moment. Left arm comes in front. Right arm over the top. And then just twist them and see if you can clasp at the base of the top palm. And then when you feel ready, you can just lift that foot away. If you can curl it round the back of your calf, that's great, but not everybody can. And then when you're ready, and if you want to, bend into your knees, keep your back flat, push your bottom out, and we can come into humble eagle. So from the side, rather than collapsing the spine, keep your bottom pressed outwards, nice flat back coming forwards. Humble eagle. Again, just focus on that point of concentration. Fix your gaze. And then we can come up and release. Okay, move the arms, move the legs, other side. Left leg grounded, right toes come across. And then left arm in front, and then right arm comes across over the top. Lifting that foot away if you can. If you can't, keep the toes there. That's absolutely fine. And then you can come, bend the knees, push the bottom out, nice flat back. Humble eagle. You'll see here my foot uncurls, it doesn't stay curled round. And then gently coming up. And release. Lovely. Take the arms wide. And then we can just move them round. So I'd like to do a sun salutation and a moon salutation, both together. We will do the Satyananda version that we're familiar with. The only difference is when we go with the sun salutation, the right leg goes back first. With the moon, it's the left. And then we come into the crescent moon with the arms. Everything else is the same. So deep breath in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, salute the sun. Gentle back bend. And forward fold. Have a moment here. It's the first fold of the day. So just dangle like a rag doll. You can wiggle your hips for a moment. Release through the head and neck. And then we can bring hands to the shins if you need to. Lift the back, flatten the back, looking ahead of you. And then hands to mat. Right leg back. Knee comes down into equestrian, this low lunge. And then just take a moment here. Gaze up to the sky, up to the sun, really releasing into the hips and the pelvis. And then turning back toes under, coming into down dog. And just lifting that tailbone. Nice flat back, strong arms, engaged hands into your mat. Lifting tailbone. Doesn't matter if the heels are down or the legs are straight. Deep breath in. Knees come down. We can flow back. Inhale into Sphinx. We'll take Sphinx just to start with. Easy Cobra. Just because I know some of us have got tender lower backs. I just want to feel into it for this first move. And then hands under the shoulders. Let's push back up into down dog, enjoying how the spine moves from one pose to the other. Left foot forwards, between the hands. Gazing up. Feet together. And sweep up. Salute the sun. Okay. It doesn't matter how fast you go through that sequence. If you're behind me or in front of me, it's your practice. So take time in a certain pose. If you want to pause there for another breath, it's perfectly fine. We'll do the other side. Deep breath. Exhale. Inhale. And folding forwards. Looking ahead. Left leg back. And gazing up. Again, just pause here. I really don't like to rush through this pose. Really kind of feel that lovely stretch in the tops of the legs. Then down dog. How do you feel in your arms, in the top of your back, where your shoulder blades are? And then deep inhale. Exhale as you come down, folding back. Inhale into Bhujangasana, Cobra, if that suits you. Keep it low if your back feels tender. You don't have to come up too high. And then pushing into down dog. Left foot forwards. Feet together. And sweep up. Surya Namaskar is an energizing sequence. It is targeting the energy that flows through the right side of your body, through Pingala, the nadi that associates with our masculine energy. And so now we'll do the moon salutation. It really is lovely to do both because then it brings a balance into Ida, that feminine nadi, the left side of our body. So again, top of the mat. Deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale. And folding forwards. Lifting and looking ahead. This time, left leg back. Make sure you feel balanced and steady, then you can raise the arms. Really dip in the pelvis and hips more into this crescent. Hands down and down dog. Inhale, exhale. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to down dog. Right foot forwards. Arching into that crescent. Feet together. And lifting up. Okay. The other side, and then we'll take Shavasana. Deep breath in. Exhale. Think of this as a very floaty sequence, like you're moving through water a little bit more. bit more feminine. Lifting, looking ahead. Hands to the mat. Right leg back. Come up into crescent. Down dog. Flowing down and back. Breathing into cobra. Back up to down dog. Left foot forwards. Into crescent. Feet together. And sweeping up. Thumbs to heart. Just close the eyes for a moment. Feel your heartbeat. Feel that lovely sort of pulsation of energy around your body. And we'll take a moment in Shavasana. Take a nice sigh if you need to. If your heartbeat and your breath just feels a little bit fast, let your exhale be slightly longer than your inhale. And then everything will start to balance. So lie here and relax, but just feel what's going on. Where can you feel energy flowing through you? Where do you feel vibrant? Yeah, they are really lovely sequences, those two. They move your body in all directions, apart from a twist and a side stretch to your body. So if you wanted a full body movement, you could do those. Come into a twist of the body, a banana stretch, and also maybe an inversion is another posture to include through all body movements, and then you would feel very balanced. So just let everything relax. Let your breath return to normal. And just feel what's going on. So bring the knees into chest. Have a gentle rock. Roll on the back. And we will come to standing. I'm going to move through a little sequence of Trikonasana and warriors. We'll come into warrior 3 today, which is a balancing pose too. Can be a bit challenging, but it's always fun to try. So let's start with Trikonasana. So this pose is lovely because we can come into that side stretch of the body, which is lovely for your gallbladder, which the meridian runs on the outside of the body. Okay, feet about a leg length apart. Draw the arms up. Feel the energy come through the soles of your feet, through your legs, tailbone tucked under, sternum is lifted, and just rotate the whole arm over and just the wrists back round so you feel an activation in your biceps. And energized just from lifting your body up, hands to hips. Turn in the toes of your left foot, rotate out the toes of your right foot. And then wherever your elbows are pointing or where your hips are pointing, so just bring them back into alignment. Extending your right arm, gently moving downwards. Just slowly listen to how the hips feel. Lifting your left arm if that feels comfortable. Otherwise, you can always keep your hand on your hip if there's issues with your shoulder or arm. Gazing up to the ceiling. So I just want to pause here for a few moments and breathe into your belly. Really feel like you can feel that stretch in the side of your body. If you feel like your chest or your shoulder is collapsing forward, you're not going to feel it in the side stretch. So you really want to feel like you're being squeezed between two panes of glass, even if you have to come up higher, because the body starts to rotate. Okay, lifting up. Let's just create a bit more space between our feet as we come into Warrior Two. Bending your front knee. When you look down, the knee should be over the heel, the ankle, and you should see your big toe, but not really your little toes. Lovely strong posture here. You can feel it perhaps through the arms. We're going to rotate the left arm forward and the left hip forward as we come into Warrior One. So now you're facing the short edge of your mat. Arms are up parallel. Warrior One. From here, we're going to come into a balance of Warrior Three. I'm just going to come back a little bit. Where you lift your back leg and you come into what looks like the letter T. So push into your right leg and lift, if you can, into Warrior Three. And then come down with that back leg. Don't worry if you have a wobble. We can return to Warrior Two. Your left arm comes back. Lower your left arm to the thigh, raise your right hand and face the palm to your face into Reverse Warrior or Sun Warrior. And just notice this stretch in the body. Come back to Warrior Two. Actually, we're going to come into Warrior One again. Bring your hands behind your back. And just clasp the hands together. And then lower your chest down into Humble Warrior. And if you want to raise the arms behind you, if you have got that flexibility, you can. Humble Warrior. Lifting up. Warrior Two. Forward facing feet. Clasp your elbows. Breathe in and then relax as you exhale forwards. So, I like to hold on to the elbows here just for a few moments. It just feels like the arms can feel quite heavy. There's a nice stretch across the upper back. And then you can drop the hands to the mat. Nod your head yes. Shake your head no. Let's walk the hands forward. So only come as far as when your heels want to lift off the mat. Keeping the legs straight, so it's like a down dog, but with the legs wide. And you can really feel that stretch in the back of the legs. Try to relax your knees if they feel tense. And then walk the hands back. Let's heel toe the feet into centre. I'm going to just turn to the side because I want to show you how we come up into chair pose. So your feet are about hip distance apart. Again, like we did with Humble Eagle, the back is flat, the arms are parallel in front of you, and as if you're sitting in a chair, just come into chair pose. And then lift up. Okay. I don't like holding that too long because I know it can affect people with lower back issues, but if you've got the strength and you can just pause there, it's quite nice. Right, we're going to do everything that we just did then on the other side. So starting with your feet about a leg length apart, we'll work into triangle and then that warrior, the warriors. So lifting arms up. Activate all through your body. Hands to hips. The right toes turn inwards, left toes turn outwards. Just swing the hips back round. Left arm. And coming down gently into this lovely side stretch. This side on me always feels a little bit different. I have to work it more. So you might also notice the same. There's a lot more attention to really keeping that right shoulder open. Some deep breaths here. Feel that stretch in the side of your body. Okay, gently coming up, warrior two. You might need a little bit more space between your feet. Knee over your ankle. Sinking into this a little bit more. Feel very strong and grounded, and feel how the weight feels through both of your feet. If it feels even. Okay, so warrior one. And I'm just going to come back a little bit on the mat. So still warrior one. And then coming up, we're going to push from the back leg and balance into the left leg into warrior three. Hang on a minute. My plant's in the way. So warrior three, only if you want to try it. And then taking that leg back. Okay, so come back into warrior one, warrior two, reverse warrior, and then warrior one again, taking hands behind your back and coming into humble warrior. Raising the arms behind you if you can. Lifting up. Warrior two. Forward facing feet. Again, just clasp your elbows as we did before. Deep breath in, exhale, fold forwards, and find some nice relief in your back. Let yourself just hang here for a moment. You can rest the hands to the mat. Walk the feet in. And then just turn on your mat. Come onto your hands and knees. As we just move into cat-cow for a moment, just to release anything that you're feeling. So exhaling into cat and inhaling into cow. Pausing wherever you need to just let things stretch. And then coming to tabletop again. Rest yourself back into Hatha. Few deep breaths. Notice what you're feeling through your body. Lifting your head slowly. Walking the hands back to your body. Okay. We're going to come into plank pose. Don't worry, we're not going to hold it too long, but it is a really good strengthener, all for the front of your body, all these abdominal muscles. And then from plank pose, we're going to lower, like a very slow press up into chaturanga, where you kind of hover off of the mat. If you're not sure, I'll show you, I'll just demonstrate. So this is plank pose, not with bottom up, almost like down dog. We're in a nice long line here. Lowering into chaturanga is a very slow lower down. Pausing, you can see I'm a few inches off the mat. And then lower to the mat fully, okay? So if plank pose is too much for you, you can always do sort of this half plank, where the knees are down. You're still building strength in the body. But if you've got lower back problems, I'd suggest doing this one if full plank starts to aggravate you. So Coming into full plank if you wish. Really listen to your body. I want you to listen to your satya and ahimsa. Take a few deep breaths. And then we're going to just gently lower down. Bring the elbows backwards. Pause. And then let yourself rest on the mat. Make a pillow with your hands. You can feel that. As you rest against the mat, perhaps you can feel your chest beating. Maybe there's a pulse in your belly as well. Okay. So bring your hands just under your shoulders, just push back into child's pose again. And this time, if you want to just rest your hands on your fists, that can feel nice. Or if you actually like child's pose where the knees are together and the hands are down by the feet. This can feel very safe if you're feeling a little bit vulnerable in life. Child's pose is probably the first pose we ever took in the womb. So it can always feel very nurturing. Take some deep breaths. Lifting the head up slowly. Okay, just come onto your back into Shavasana. Have a few moments here just to relax, palms facing upwards. And then we'll just draw the knees in. Have a rock. Bring your feet to the mat. I'd just like to do a lying spinal twist with that sway, just so that we've worked the body in all directions. We've had the side stretch with triangle pose, Trikonasana. So just getting a little bit of a twist movement into the body, and it feels like we've moved everywhere. So if you've got the room, take the arms out level with the shoulders, and we'll take an inhale. As we exhale, just swing the knees towards the right. Inhale up to centre. Swing them over to the left. Inhale to centre. Just keep moving. And then the next time you bring them over to the right, perhaps just pause here for a moment and try and relax. Let that lower leg sink to the mat if it wants to. There might be a bit more space between the knees. And just seeing where you feel the stretch down the side of your body. Can you loosen into the lower back and around the abdominal muscles? Deep breaths. And then breathe in, bring the knees up to the centre, and we'll do the same on the left. We'll just take the knees over and pause there for a moment and just feel into the twist. You can look in the opposite direction. So bringing knees up to centre. Take a moment into Shavasana. And some nice deep breaths. Noticing how you're feeling. Drawing these in. Have a rock. Just come up to seated. I'd like to just do a few minutes of a breathing practice, and then we'll come into relaxation. I'd like to do box breath or square breath. Box breath or square breath, as it sounds, is we're breathing in equal measure for the inhale, the internal retention of the breath, the exhale, and the external retention of the breath. The count of 4 is usually easy and comfortable for most people. So we'll start there. But if you need to drop it to 3, or you want to extend it to the count of 5, please go with what feels right for you. So just let your eyelids close. We'll just take a few natural breaths first. And then I'll count through a few of these rounds, and then we can do it ourselves. So when you're ready, breathe in for the count of 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. And then hold the breath out for 4. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. And just carry on a few more times. And just let your breath return to normal. Relax back on your mats. Either staying seated where you are if you're comfortable, but if you prefer to lie down, please do. Just thinking about that breathing. Was the internal retention of the breath easier or the external? Which part of that breathing sequence felt comfortable? Which part felt a little bit challenging? It's always interesting to notice how the whole breath and practice feels. So relaxing on your mats, let everything soften. Just tell each part of your body as you scan from head to toe to relax. It doesn't need to hold tension. You can be supported by the mat. A practice for the new millennium by the Dalai Lama. Spend 5 minutes at the beginning of each day remembering we all want the same things, to be happy, to be loved, and we are all connected to one another. Spend 5 minutes breathing in, cherishing yourself, and breathing out, cherishing others. If you think about people who have difficulty cherishing, who you have difficulty cherishing, extend your cherishing to them anyway. During the day, extend that attitude to everyone you meet. Practice cherishing the simplest person, like clerks or attendants or people you dislike. Continue this practice no matter what happens or what anyone does to you. These thoughts are simple, inspiring and helpful. The practice of cherishing can be taken very deeply if done wordlessly, allowing yourself to feel the love and appreciation that already exists in your heart. And another little quote here. Seek to do brave and lovely things, which are left undone by the majority of people. Give gifts of love and peace to those whom others pass by. Paramahansa Yogananda. That's lovely. Give gifts of love and peace to those whom others pass by. I'm going to leave that with you today, to send cherishing thoughts to yourself, but also to anyone you come into contact with, whether they are significant or insignificant in your life. Even those people you see on the television that perhaps you dislike. We are all born from the same source. So as you come across people today that may irritate you or behave differently from you, dress differently, just don't, perhaps we have a judgment about them. It's nice to try and see the unfolding of God, the unfolding of source, of the divine in each and every one of us. We all have our paths to tread. We all have our challenges. We all have our programming, subconsciously, unknowingly. And so just trying to see the light in everyone else. will always bring you into a happier, more uplifted vibration. Sometimes it just needs a moment of stepping away, coming back to a conscious thought rather than unconscious programming and behaviour, to just see the unfolding of the divine in everything. So when you're ready, just start to draw your awareness back. Notice your thoughts. Notice the thoughts that you have for the rest of the day, if you can. And then we can start to wiggle fingers and toes. Just notice the next few conscious breaths fully. They might be the last few breaths that you're conscious of today. And then just beginning to stretch in whatever way feels right for you. How does your body feel now? We've had quite an energised practice today. A couple of sequences, some stronger poses. How does your energy feel? So in your own time, just coming up to seated, we'll chant our 3 Oms, which is always lovely for closing your practice, to revitalise your throat chakra. When we Om, try not to say OM. Try and bring the sound of AUM into your expression. When you say the A part, you'll feel it in the body here. When you come into the U part, you'll feel it a lot more around sort of the throat, the vibration in the body, and then the M will all be around the nose, sort of the mouth and the nose. So it's really lovely to really feel your Om, feel the vibration that moves through your body. So, Chin Mudra, take a nice deep breath in. Notice if you felt that movement of vibration through your body very subtly today. And then bring the hands together, rub the palms. Perhaps you can feel a heat already in your hands from the energy we've increased today, our prana. Calm the eyes. Notice the colour with the eyes closed, open and blink. Feel that lovely warmth come into the eyeballs. And then we can part the fingers, bring the hands to heart. Om Shanti. Namaste.